In this video, we are going to discuss regarding internal structure of dicotyledon stem. In transverse section of dicot stem, it shows the following distinct regions. First, epidermis, cortex. Cortex is further divided into hypodermis, general cortex and endodermis. And third, that is steel region, that is which consists of pericycle, vascular bundle and pith. So let discuss this point with the help of diagrammatic representation of dicotyledon stem. This is the transverse section of dicot stem, shows the outermost region, that is epidermis. Epidermis is outermost protective covering of the stem. It is a single layered. This is the epidermis. This is the epidermis, and which is the outermost layer. The outer wall of epidermis is cutinized, that is there is a presence of cuticle. The cells are compactly arranged and contain stomata and various kinds of trichomes or outgrowths. It keeps a check on excessive transpiration. It protects the plant from disease producing organisms and also protects from mechanical injuries. Now the second region of the transverse section is cortex. It lies below the epidermis, cortical region present below the epidermis and above the pericycle. It consists of three distinct regions. First one, hypodermis, second general cortex and thirdly endodermis. So these are distinctly seen in this diagram. This is hypodermis, this is general cortex and the endodermis. Here the endodermis. So there are three regions of cortex. So let's start with the hypodermis. Hypodermis is 2 to 3 layered and it lies below the epidermis. So this is the hypodermal region. It is made up of collenchymatous cells. All cells are living. In angular stem, it is confined to the corners only, and these cells are thickened at the corner against intercellular spaces. The chief function of hypodermis is to give strength to the stem. Next region of cortex is general cortex. This lies below the hypodermis. It is multi-layered, that is 4 to 8 layered, and it is made up of thin-walled parenchymatous cells. Here, this is the parenchymatous cells, or this is the region of general cortex. Here the intercellular spaces are present and some of the cells contain chloroplast. Hence, they are called as chlorenchyma, which are presented here in the green color. This is the region of chlorenchyma which come under the general cortex, and all cells are living. In addition, some of the cells contain resin and oil ducts. The latex bearing plant contain lenticephorous cells in the cortex, and the chief function of these cells is storage of food material. The sclerenchyma cells are found in cortex of some stems, and these are of two types of sclerenchyma cells: short and irregular shaped cells known as stone cells and sclerenchyma fibers. Sclerenchyma fibers are long, thick-walled dead cells and serve as strengthening material, and stone cells gives stiffness to the cortex. Now the third part of the cortex or third region of the cortex is endodermis. Here there is a presence of endodermis. It is the innermost part of cortex known as endodermis. The cells of this layer are barrel shaped, compactly arranged with abundant starch grains, and hence the endodermis is called as a starch sheath. The cells are compactly arranged which surround the steel. The radial walls of endodermal cells develop characteristic thickening of suberin called as Casparian strips. And this cortical region is then followed by stele region. So first of all, the epidermis. Below the epidermis there is a cortex. Cortex shows three regions: hypodermis, general cortex, and the innermost, that is endodermis. Now the endodermis is followed by the stele region. A part of stem next to cortex is called as stele, and in Dicot it shows polyfascicular siphonostele, or we can call it as a U-stele. It is well differentiated into three regions. First of all, pericycle, second vascular bundle, and thirdly pith. So let's start with the first region, that is pericycle. It lies below the endodermis. So the layer below, immediately below the or inner side of the endodermis is called as a pericycle. It is generally composed of sclerenchyma and parenchyma. The sclerenchyma may occur as a separate patch or continuous ring associated with the phloem of the vascular bundle, and which is known as a hard blast. When sclerenchymatous cells are associated with the phloem of the vascular bundle, they are called as a hard blast, and these are thick walled dead cells which serve as strengthening material. Where here we can see this layer, this one, which is represented in black or gray color. This is the sclerenchymatous hard blast. Now the next part of stele region is vascular bundle. Here the Dicot stem, the conjoined, collateral and open type of vascular bundle is present. These are arranged in a ring. Bundle is composed of phloem, cambium and xylem. Here this is the vascular bundle, where this vascular bundle is called as conjoined, collateral and open type, as there is a presence of cambium in between phloem and xylem. This vascular bundle is called as a open type of vascular bundle, which leads to secondary growth. Now let's see regarding phloem. What are the characteristic feature of phloem in Dicot stem? Phloem lies externally and consists of sieve tubes, companion cells and phloem parenchyma. Here phloem is present towards the outer side and xylem is present toward the central part of the stem. And this phloem consists of sieve tubes as well as companion cell and phloem parenchyma. Here the sieve tubes are larger element than companion cell. Phloem parenchyma are smaller elements, and all these elements are living. The chief function of phloem is to conduct the prepared food material from the leaves to the storage region and later from storage organ to the growing region. Next part is xylem and cambium. In case of cambium, this is a band of thin walled cells. This is the band of thin walled cells present in between the phloem and cambium, which is represented here in the yellow color. So it is single to many layered, and the cells are arranged in radial rows and are roughly rectangular in shape, and it lies between xylem and phloem. And cambium is responsible for secondary growth and increase in thickness of the stem. What we see, the large girth of plants like banana or mango is due to this cambium. This cambium is responsible for secondary growth, which leads to addition of new cells inside the plant body, and which is directly responsible for increasing girth of stem of different plants like banana and mango, etc. In vascular bundle, next part is xylem, which is the innermost part of vascular bundle here. It is formed before the activity of cambium. The first formed xylem is known as primary xylem. The smaller elements of xylem is known as protoxylem, while the larger elements or larger cells of xylem is known as metaxylem. So the xylem consists of three different types of elements, that is tracheids, vessels and wood fibers. So tracheids are elongated thick-walled cells. Already we have studied different elements of xylem and phloem in last topic, that is types of tissue. So you must know what is meant by tracheid, vessel and wood fibers. These tracheids are elongated thick-walled cells. The diameter of vessel is usually much greater than tracheids. The thickening of the vessels are annular, spiral, reticulate, and scalariform. The wood fibers are long, slender, and pointed. The elements of xylem are lignified except xylem parenchyma. The chief function is to conduct water, but xylem parenchyma serves mainly for storage of food. And xylem here in this section is of endarch. Dicotyledon in dicot stem, the xylem is endarch. That is, the protoxylems are arranged towards the center and metaxylem towards the periphery, which is shown in this diagram. Lastly, the last part or the innermost part of the tears of dicot stem is pith. So the pith is the central core. This is the pith. This one, this is the pith, or we can say this part is called as a pith. The central core of the still is known as pith or medulla. It is made up of loosely arranged, thin-walled parenchymatous cells. The continuation of pith radiate through the region between vascular bundles and form primary medullary rays or pith rays. The chief function of pith is to store water and food material. This is all about the internal structure of dicotyledon stem.